Yeah, I think we are live now.
Alright.
यस 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 दिख रहा है.
एक बार भाई चेक कर लो इस बार सही में लाइव है कि नहीं.
Hmm.
Actually, just give it a check.
Yes, we are live.
हाँ.
अभिजीत भाई
Hmm.
बोल
Yeah,
रहे हैं मेरी लाइव
I think
स्ट्रीम
we
में
are.
बढ़िया.
Yes, we are. Yes, we are. Yes, we
But
are.
just share the link ना in
भाई
the group.
लाइक कर दिया सबसे पहले मैंने.
कोई शेयर कर सकता है क्या एक बार by link? I think they'll do it अपने आप. We can start. चलो.
Alright.
किसी को
Alright. Hello, everyone, and a warm welcome to MESC Red Devils NCR. We have three esteemed gentlemen with us. We have Antriksh, we have Abhijit, and we have Kushagra. So warm welcome to everyone, and I hope you are doing well. So things looking very good and very rosy after the win against Spurs at home, which was arguably one of our one not if not one our best performance of the season, where we were dominant right from the start of the center. But the tests keep on coming. As you know, the month of October is a very congested month. So our next game is against another member of the fellow Big Six. That is, we play Chelsea, and Chelsea themselves are finding a bit of semblance of stability, if not form. Uh, this game has added ramifications to it. The equation for the Red Devils is pretty simple. We win, we go into the top four. We lose or we draw, we potentially find ourselves drifting up down to sixth or seventh place, with the likes of Newcastle and Liverpool right behind our tails, jostling for that spot. All right. So we start off with Antriksh. Antriksh, what do you think? How do you picturize this happening out? Because Chelsea are coming into this game with a little bit of stability, perhaps, but then their performances are not quite up to the mark. You could also point that down to a change in manager. Uh, gone is Thomas Tuchel, and now he's replaced by Graham Potter. And while he started off a little shaky, there is a little bit of stability that is there in their side right now, and a resurgence of some of their key English players in particular. So, what do you make of Chelsea as a side approaching this fixture?
Right. Right. So, as you said, if not form, we'd sort of define their recent run of results as some form of stability. Not that they were very, very unstable under Tuchel, but as we know, the things how things are running with Chelsea since its inception, I would say. But anyways, Chelsea, a big game where form goes out of the window. Top six, as you said, the equation is simple. We win, we go into the top four. We lose or we draw, we linger around the top four again, potentially landing into sixth if results don't go in our favor. So it's a big game that is sort of established. We couldn't have gone up into it with any better of a performance, and a complete minute 1 to minute 90 kind of a performance we gave, and it was absolutely stunning to watch as a fan. It was something that was worth waiting till Pone teen, and not sleeping and busting your eyes up when you have to wake up 6:30 next morning to go to college. It was worth it. Little have we had these nights wherein we're sort of hung up and all of that till 3:30 only to see Dahya missing the last penalty and us losing a European trophy, but not going there. So it's positive. It's positive, but as they say, it's United. And at least after since Sir Alex is gone, nothing is very positive for us for a long period of time. We just got a slap from Laurie Whitwell that not only did Ronaldo not want to sort of, not did he just walk off, he didn't want to come onto the pitch itself to play. So, I mean, not going deep into that, but just to give a sort of a shout out to Eric, that it's one of the most proudest moments for me as a United fan. And United hasn't given me many proud moments for the past 9 years that I've been a fan for. So one of the proudest moments, living on the ideals of Sir Alex Ferguson, saying when a player becomes and thinks of himself as bigger than the club, it's kind of time to go. Well, time will tell if Cristiano's time is over or not. But for now, he's out of the squad. And the good part was, Eric Ten Hag then quickly applied bandages there. He was like, "We'll miss him. We'll miss him." He's still an integral part of the squad. So that was sort of a good sort of a bandage or two to apply there. And with Graham Potter coming in, first of all, the lad is confused between playing a back five or a back four. So that's good for starters for us. And then their defense looks strong on the paper. It seems that it's sort of impenetrable, but it's like a sponge. It's like a sponge. It just holds all over. We need a few through balls, a bit of patience from Bruno Fernandes, who shouldn't go for the glory. Hopefully, but if we sort of move the ball around quickly, we play with that intensity, with their midfield looking a bit shaky, with someone as talented but not as consistent as Ruben Loftus-Cheek getting starts. I would really hope that we could press the life out of them. So if we do that with the kind of form we are in, never mind it's at Stamford Bridge, we could actually beat them and go into the top four. And I, for one, am pretty confident about that.
So yeah, like you said, Antriksh, semblance of form, confusion, a lot of things that they're still trying to figure out on the fly. Chelsea, in a nutshell, basically. Kushal, the next question is, now both the teams come into this game approaching different mindsets here. All right. While United as a whole are finally beginning to click, there is semblance of cohesion, there is coordination, and there is dynamism in what we do. And all these qualities were there for everyone to witness in the Spurs game. All right. We pressed in numbers. We did not let Spurs get about their business. The fact that Harry Kane and Son were shackled is testament to the fact that our defensive plan was carried to the T with full perfection. All right. On the other hand, Chelsea approached this game with 4 points out of 6 games, which is not a bad return. But then they were bailed in both the games by Kepa's masterclass. So, what do you think is going to happen? And what do you think is the dynamic between the two sides in this game?
Right, yeah. So I think against Spurs, we had like the best game that we played this season, and especially under the new manager, we actually saw the things which he tried to implement in like the preseason, but we were not able to see that in the other games due to various reasons. Talking about this game, I'll be like very honest. I haven't really followed like Chelsea itna. I haven't seen that many games, but like jitna I have, um, in their attack, I can only see Raheem Sterling and probably like a Mason Mount as someone that can be a threat to our defense. But at the same time, like the form that we are in, I think we won the last 7 games out of the 8 games that we've played, and I think we drew against Newcastle, which should also be which should have been a victory. But yeah, we'll not go into that. Coming on to this game, I think obviously it's going to be a tough game because it's at Stamford Bridge. It's like never an easy game, and I think there's some stat wherein we haven't won at the bridge since so many years. I mean, correct me if I'm wrong. I don't remember the last time that we actually like won against them. Um, yeah, so I think coming on to our team, Marcus Rashford is probably going to be a very like the focal player because all our attacks, they are like on him. Since like Ronaldo is not going to be there, we've already heard the official statement from the club. Anthony Martial is still like not really fully fit. The midfield, I would say Ericsson would, probably like be back and he would give that stability to us. So against the Blues, obviously it's going to be a tricky game, but I don't see us having that many of issues since after the game we've had against Spurs. So I think we should be able to walk away with the 3 points.
Fair enough. अभिजीत भाई आपको क्वेश्चन पूछता हूँ. Now we Chelsea themselves have not had the best of record against us as well. I think the last time they won against us in a Premier League game was somewhere around I think it's been long. And Kushagra, the last time we won against Chelsea in Stamford Bridge was in 2020. We beat them 2-0, a Harry Maguire goal and an Anthony Martial goal. So we have won there 2 years ago. I think
Hmm.
the last four games have all been draws, both home and away. So the last win that we've had was both us at home and away in the 1920 season. All right. So now, my question to Abhijit Bhai is: while we have a good record over Chelsea, we do not have a good record playing against Graham Potter. The last two games, Graham Potter's teams, Brighton both the times, have managed to beat us 4-0 and 2-1. And the 2-1 was the start of our season, Eric Ten Hag's first game in charge. So अभिजीत भाई आपको क्या लगता है will Potter once again able to find something because he was very efficiently able to break Ten Hag's methods and display more philosophy of Ten Hag than Ten Hag did in his first game. बहुत टाइम बीत चुका है वो गेम के लिए बट क्या आपको लगता है कुछ ऐसा सेम हो सकता है with Potter as Chelsea manager considering that he has much better players now than Brighton.
I don't think so because if you see in the Brighton's game, in that Brighton's game, I think we were not in that system actually. He better we were not still yet in that. He has not implemented that full system. What Eric Ten Hag we saw in yesterday's in Spurs game. So basically, when you see in that in the first Brighton games or even before the season ends, that we uh, Potter had that team which he needed because he demands the intensity. He plays 4-4-3. He plays high line. So he had that players in the Brighton. Now when he came in the Tuchel's team in Chelsea, he Tuchel's team has a gegen pressing time, German style of footballing, what he demands, and he preferred that players, and he took that players in the transfer market. So Graham Potter, demands the intensity, high power to play. You press the team at a very high level, but now the team has in the in the Potter's team now we have in the Chelsea. It is not like that. So definitely they are still on the rebuild time actually. So I don't think that that loss against that Brighton will not impact on in the coming game against the Chelsea, because we have actually summed up with all that things what Ten Hag wants from the team, and we have really come little closer, not too far from that. So definitely we can utilize that advantage and come up with a win.
Fair enough, Abhijit bhai. Some really good points. All right, now we go ahead and speak about the Chelsea side. All right, uh, Chelsea come in with one of their key positions, where they're short on one of their key positions. That's right fullback, right wing back, or whatever it is. Reece James is out until Christmas. All right,
Yes.
and that is a massive blow for this Chelsea side because Reece James is the fulcrum of their attacks from the
Yes.
right side. He's
Yes.
arguably one of the most complete fullbacks that England and Chelsea have at this point in time. He's physical, he's fast, can deliver one of the best crosses. He's a striker's delight, and he's so influential in the way Chelsea proceed to set up their attacking patterns. All right. So his miss is going to be a big one for Chelsea. All right. So obviously Potter has tried to go ahead and fill that void. He tried he tried two options. Against Aston Villa, he went with Aspilicueta to mild success. And against Brentford, he went about playing with Ruben Loftus-Cheek at right back. All right. While Ruben Loftus-Cheek was all right, there were some moments where he was totally uncomfortable in that position. And let's be honest, Aspilicueta doesn't have the strength and the pace to to carry on in that position for a longer period of time, given his advanced age. Uh, Pulkit, obviously now with their right side vulnerable, our left side will obviously have an important role to play in this. Whoever play on the left side, be it Rashford, be it Sancho, or be it anyone who Erik Ten Hag decides to play in that position, will be very important. So, who do you think should start on that left side, and how important our passage of play throughout the left side will be, considering that Luke Shaw also is a type of fullback who loves to overlap. And in the last few games, we've seen that he's been overlapping to perfection, which gives us an extra outlet from the left. Pulkit, I'm not able to hear you. I guess you're muted. No, still can't hear you. Prashant, am I audible? Can you can you just try speaking, Prashant?
Yeah, sure,
Yeah,
sure. Can
sure,
you hear me?
sure. Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can. So the
Prashant,
question goes out to you.
Mute it, Prashant. If you're
Hello.
Yeah, yeah, Prashant. So my question goes to you, like with
Yeah.
Chelsea's right side having a massive Reece James hole. Who do you think should start on the left, and how important our left side is in this game?
I think Jadon Sancho should start this game. I know he's not been in the best of form, but considering how Jadon Sancho likes to take on players, right, and they don't have a right back to play. See, one of the options they can play is Trevor Chalobah, but Graham Potter today said that he will have to wait and watch and see how the whole situation at the right back progresses. Now, I do agree about Luke Shaw overlapping the fullback to a certain extent, and Chelsea is not the kind of game where you would want him to overlap. You would want him to be defensively solid first, because understand that there is a Raheem Sterling, there is a Mason Mount, and there is an Aubameyang waiting to hit on counters all the time. And Graham Potter did both the times when we lost to Brighton. Graham Potter used the flanks to perfection. For example, Pascal Gross and Trossard. Earlier last year, it was Anthony Knockaert. So he moved from the left to the right in a flash, and we lost the game. Okay. Now, having said that, I think Jadon Sancho should start the game because if you remember last year, right, it was Jorginho's mistake and it was Jadon Sancho's first Premier League goal that kind of opened the floodgates for Jadon Sancho for the next 5 games. Now, considering all the factors, Jadon Sancho will not start, and I think it will be Marcus Rashford who will start. On the left hand side, and Eric Ten Hag might actually go for a false nine of Bruno Fernandes, because if you have observed Eric Ten Hag, he usually prefers that kind of a system in a big game. Now, when Bruno Fernandes plays as a false nine, which is for sure that it is going to be Casemiro, Fred, and Eriksen who's going to play, that gives us an extra option to attack. Now, unlike the previous Chelsea teams, they are not defensively very solid. I mean, they were held to a nil-nil draw last game. Okay, their strikers are missing boots. Aubameyang hasn't lit up Stamford Bridge. Technically, Aubameyang is still one of the best centre forwards in world football. I mean, forget the Arsenal term in the last 7-8 months. Man went to Barcelona and was on fire. When he came back to Chelsea, he scored, and then he's missing. I would actually be more interested to see how United set up the midfield because look, they don't have N'Golo Kante. Amount of times we have drawn with Chelsea, it is our midfield which has let us down all the time. Okay, so I'm more interested to see how Casemiro plays as a single defensive midfielder in that role because as much as Martinez and Varane gets the credit for the second goal of Bruno Fernandes, right? I think I was mentioning it in the group today. It was Casemiro's excellent positioning. He was there to cut off the pass to Human Son. Okay, so now when you look, I think someone has actually said in comment that Potter used flanks in previous win at Brighton because he had those players. That's not the strength of Chelsea at the moment. Look, Potter as a coach is very smart tactically and he's proved it time and again. What I say by when he's using the flanks is, of course, he's got Raheem Sterling on the flanks, which is an upgrade over Leandro Trossard by any means of form. I mean, Raheem Sterling is not a joke. Now, if you compare it, Mason Mount actually plays an entire midfield. He runs on the left, runs on the right, runs from the center. It's a very risky combination for what we are facing. And considering our record with Chelsea, right, and with Graham Potter, of course, I'd be just a step very careful of how am I going to set up my team for this.
just
Yeah.
one
So
point to interrupt, Darren Bhai. I just
yeah,
want to
go.
ask everyone or even Prashant Bhai. He said that he wants to ETS
ETS
prefers
prefers
to play false nine in the in the big games. doesn't it create an ambiguity in the midfield? Because if you play double pivot, Ericsson has to
Mm,
play as number 8, and
mm.
even Bruno will be playing in the front three.
That's a good.
But
That's a
we
very
don't
good
have a
point.
bench option. We don't have a bench option because Fred is only one single player. Even if we have the uh, good midfield, good
No, that's a very good point. Yeah,
uh,
this is where people.
so
Hmm. Sorry, I was
so
saying this is where people Anthony Elanga are very helpful
hmm,
because Anthony Elanga is someone who score cannot assist, but he keeps running for the team. If you put someone like Anthony
yes,
Elanga on the wings, right, then it increases your chance of working hard in the midfield because he'll keep running. See, Anthony Elanga is poor man's Dan James. Okay, he doesn't have the greatest of outlets in terms of scoring a goal, but he'll keep running for the team, and that is what is his strength is, and it's a very rare quality to have. Now, what I'm very curious about. See, what I'm very curious about the whole team tomorrow is how will Casemiro handle a midfield? See, we understood how Casemiro handles a midfield when there are three players, which was Bentaker, Bissouma, and Hoiberg. I mean, I don't think Hoiberg will ever have the balls to come and tackle Casemiro because he just bullied him. Okay. Now, tomorrow, I mean, over the weekend versus Chelsea, right? It is going to be a game where people will try to slip away from Casemiro. And we have seen that the moment people run away from Casemiro, even Casemiro struggles. For example, the Ammonia game, right? Uh, when they tried to run away from Casemiro, Casemiro went chasing, and suddenly there was a big hole in midfield. Now that's where I'm very curious to see how Eric Ten Hag actually sets up the midfield. Does he go for a Casemiro and a McTominay together, so that at least one person stays behind, or does he go with a Casemiro and a Fred because it's a combination which is working well for them, and Fred and Casemiro play well together for Brazil as well as for United? Or does he go with a combination of Fred, Casemiro, and Ericsson, Bruno as a number 10, Rashford up front, and on the left side he puts Jadon Sancho? That runs a risk that wing अभी अभी सब कोई बचा नहीं है, ठीक है? फिर तुमको एलांगा को ही लेके आना पड़ेगा, और वो एलांगा
but
बेंच से आके कोई गोल नहीं मारने वाला.
But Ilanga is only effective for 45 minutes, not more than, because he gets tired up
Of
and
course, right? Of course, that's the challenge, right? So it depends on
hmm,
how Eric Ten Hag wants to go with this game. Does he want to finish this game by 60 minutes and then go attack all out in the first 60 minutes and then decides, you know what, I've got my first goal, I'm going to sit back, which is not going to happen, is what we have seen Eric
hmm,
Ten Hag, right? He's not
yes,
going to sit back. I mean, his football methodology is not to sit back. His football methodology is it's control on 90 minutes.
hmm,
He wants control of entire 90 minutes, not just control of 60-65 minutes. Okay, now it obviously leaves multiple holes if he goes with a false nine, but having said all of that, uh, I think Eric Ten Hag knows that he needs 3 points as much as possible before the World Cup, and I've said that previously also. United want to finish in top four before the World Cup happens. Once you go with a good frame of mind, and once you come back, right, you still have a spring on your feet. That top चार में तो है ही मैं तो हुई, but I need to keep the winning momentum running. So it's about maintaining that momentum, and not to forget, right, Anthony is going to be a big X factor for us at the game, because he's difficult to mark. You can't tackle him. If you tackle him, you're going to give him a penalty. So it depends a lot on how Anthony is set up. Is he going to be set up further on the right side, or like last game against Spurs, right? He was standing very close to Dalot. There was not much space between both of them because his job was to help Diego Dalot in tracking back as well. So there are a lot of factors which are undergoing for the game.
All right. So, like Mojo sir said, that Ericsson will start this game, and he's prioritized on the fact he must because Ericsson has become a crucial cog in the wheel of how Eric Ten Hag will progress his style of play and make sure that the ball is constantly ticking around. Another important question right here is that Chelsea come into this game with their keeper in top form in the past two games. All right. Kepa has single-handedly managed to get Chelsea 4 points out of six. Let us not make any Let us not get that twisted by any stretch of the imagination. Kepa has found form, and how. He's been absolutely sensational these past two games. All right. Now we have come after scoring two goals in the game against Spurs, but our shooting performance, our attacking performance in the last four games, uh, is what we classify as toothless dominance, where we have been dominating for large stretches of the game. We've been peppering opposition goals left, right, and center, but still somehow we only have 3 goals to show for almost 70 to 80 shots. I do not have the exact number, but around 70 to 80 shots, we only have 3 goals to show for. So our attack is profligate. Their goalkeeper suddenly is on song and looks like he is going to have a key game tomorrow for Chelsea. He is going to be their key players. How do we tackle that issue? I mean, it could be a confidence issue for some, but tomorrow is one game where we would have to bury our chances. And I mean, we say this for every game, but tomorrow the chances that we have will hold much more significance, because the way Potter is going to set up his side, he knows that his attack is not gung ho at the moment. All right, and Thiago Silva and Koulibaly are two of the most battle hardened veterans that they have. Like, they have seen everything there is to see. Thiago Silva in particular, that man this season has tasted dirt in arguably every stadium in England. And the reason why they are so stable is because of that man's intelligence and expertise in leading that back four. So my question to Pulkit at this point of time is, what should our attackers do? I mean, how important is finishing those chances, and how important is to keep peppering their opposition with goals, with goal attempts or shots from anywhere? Like, how important that is? Pulkit still can't hear you. I think there is an issue with your audio. Can anyone hear Pulkit? Because I
Uh,
can't.
no.
No, no. Still, you're still not audible, Pulkit.
Give me a
All
minute.
right.
अब आवाज आ रही है?
Yes,
Yes,
yes. Now
Yeah,
you're
yeah.
audible. Yeah. Now you're audible.
So finally I can speak. तो बोलता हूँ. So about the game, like we all talked that Kepa Arrizabalaga, who was the flop for Chelsea, has suddenly got in a top form and has been keeping clean sheets for quite a while. And of course, Graham Potter is a manager which can't be, under, like उसको हम ये नहीं बोल सकते that he is new to this league. Maybe he is new to a big club, but he's a very smart manager. What he did with Brighton against us remind that this Chelsea team, he got a better players, he got a better defense, and he got a good informed goalkeeper. And we also saw that he has started giving preference to Kepa, which has been a great upgradation over Mendy in this season. Like Mendy had that, some chances which leaked goals and all, then he got to, give the chance to Kepa. But for our strikers, I feel like there is still the same learning from Newcastle game only. We are doing so well in like giving passes, crosses in the D, but our strikers are not finishing at all. Like what Thierry Henry said, that thing for Rashford also, that only two things are required from you, my guy. Just do a simple goal. Just like kick the ball into the goal. Don't need to do tricks and something. Like if you're getting a clear shot, strike it with an intention to score it, and try to be less selfish. To be honest, like I saw Rashford is acting a bit, selfish in terms of goals, to be honest. Like his passing ability, I don't know when he comes in D, and if he feels that he's not offside, so, he can give to, Anthony or Bruno, who has that more open space to goal. But he usually tries to, shoot from the sidelines, and it leads to a save or a corner, then again redo a game. So I feel that our attack needs to be a bit unselfish, especially for Marcus Rashford if he's starting, because he needs to gel well with the team. I know सबका अलग अलग ओपिनियन है, बट आई फील अगर हमारी टीम कम सेल्फिश होके विद मोर पासिंग जो हमें मिल रहा है उसको अच्छे से फिनिश करें. We are not asking you to finish like a player like Robert Lewandowski, Cristiano Ronaldo, that you have to be best at finishing or Messi. You just simply finish the ball into the goal and we get the lead. And I feel ये हम कर सकते हैं. We have an amazing cross like Anthony for that guy has been balling all season and जो crosses दे रहा है. Plus Christian Eriksen, blessing from that guy that he came an upgradation for Paul Pogba. To be honest, his crosses are amazing. Just give him a chance and make his chances into goals. We are winning it. Same for Casemiro. As we saw, Casemiro is also starting taking chances from a bit far from D, but he's taking chances. कि या तो मैं खुद मारूंगा या तो क्रॉस दे दूंगा अच्छा. As we saw in that Rashford game, I guess everyone remember in that Newcastle game or the last game when Casemiro gave the cross and
Yes, yes.
Rashford was trying to
It
hit him.
is.
So
Yes,
we
yes,
could
yes.
see that crosses की कमी नहीं हो रही. जो last season तो crosses की कमी थी, इस season crosses की कुछ कमी नहीं हो रही. We are dropping good crosses and suddenly even Luke Shaw की भी जो 4 दिन की चांदनी है वो भी आई गई वापस, and I'm happy for it. And but of course, like if we see any upgradation in our, like in Chelsea fullbacks, I don't mind trying Malacia also. He's pretty quicky and have that thing to shut down Sterling also. But like Shaw had him in a great game against Tottenham, so I might prefer Shaw over Malacia for right now. But I don't mind if Shaw does something that he wants to get off for Malacia after 45 minutes. But मेरा same ये intention रहेगा. Be like a normal striker. Just forget that you have to do something. बस goal करो team को जिताओ.
Yeah.
Forget that you had
So
that shit run of seasons. So I
yeah.
support on that.
So
Just
like
adding to Pulkit Bhai's
yeah.
point there, absolutely agree with him there. It's like we're doing all the bits, that Ten Hag is sort of telling us to do. It's that final ball, that extra pass, like when Rashford, got the ball from Luke Shaw and he, dribbled past a couple of players, he twisted and turned, and then he got onto his left foot. Well, he could have finished from there. It wasn't a poor finish, but he could have looked up as well and found someone with a better chance. Because obviously, I'm sure that someone was in space because there were two people that he actually ditched off there. So it would have created a lot of space for someone else there. So I won't exactly call it poor finishing because as when we guys met earlier as well, I sort of stated this that we don't create these Man City-esque, Haaland-esque chances wherein you need to keep a blindfold there and just tap it in. So we don't really create those. We create these semi easy chances wherein a defender is in front of us and we need to sort of shoot, kind of like how Bruno Fernandes scored his goal. He had Dyer and he had Lloris to beat and he had to shoot it once. So these are the kind of chances that we sort of make. Maybe
I told
if
bro.
apart from shooting we can sort of find that extra final pass there, and that sort of again becomes a tap in suddenly, rather than zero point 0.5 xg, it becomes a 9.5 xg. So
uh,
then
point,
yeah.
bro. Coming to you, like you mentioned about Haaland. To be honest, if we finish like Ivan Tony also ना for right now, I'm very happy. But at least goals आएंगे तो FPL में भी सबकी चांदी होगी और points table में भी. To be
Let's
honest,
not
So
compare with that. Compare
yeah,
with that actually.
exactly. So like Mojo sir has in the comment section, and like most of us in this panel have concurred to the fact that clinical finishing is absolutely critical tomorrow. We have to take our chances and we have to bury them. Like Rohit Bhai says, Rashford is not selfish. I mean, I think that's very evident to see that he's just trying to get things done in a rush. I mean, like Thierry Henry said in
Get
the game
goals
against
quickly.
Spurs. Yeah, exactly. That he's not in a calm mind space whenever he has the ball. He just wants to get it done as quickly as possible. If he would if he would just take that second or two to just get a feel of the things around him, it would be
Composure.
much better. Yeah, exactly. Composure. I mean, because he's doing everything correct. He's making those darting runs in. He's getting into those spaces. He's also getting in those high quality chances which should normally be buried. But then it seems like there is a little bit of hesitation or whatever it is. It's a mental block or something like that. Only Rashford at this point knows. But come tomorrow, he could do with a goal. I mean, it would let his it would do his, yeah, like Mojo rightly said, it's Marcus Rashford, not Rashford. But then that is how it is. So now coming to Chelsea. Now let's we've spoken about our side and we've spoken about what exactly we have to do. Let's just put things from a Chelsea perspective. All right. Now they do not have a lot of options when it comes to their attack. We've seen Sterling be used as a false nine. They've brought in Aubameyang as a proper quality striker, but there is one player who I have been looking at since last season when he was not a part of Chelsea, and that is Armando Broja. All right. Now that man, he has all the qualities for a Chelsea striker to succeed. He's fast, he's physical, he's very good on the ball, and he is that outlet which Giroud used to give them. Giroud was that type of striker who used to ensure that there is a physical presence up front. So no matter whoever it is, he is that outlet to receive balls in the box or to just hold up that play with when his back is on goal. All right. So how important is Broja to that setup? Because I don't think he's going to start tomorrow, but whenever he's going to come, it will be 20 minutes, it will be 25 minutes into the game, whatever it is. But he is going to be a major influence for that Chelsea side, and that their style of play will automatically change the moment Broja gets on the pitch. All right. So, Prashant bhai, I'll put this, Prashant and Kushagra, you all both can give me an opinion on this question. It's the same question, you all can have different opinions about it. So, how important is Broja to this setup, and what can we do exactly to, to just nullify that threat? because like there will be some instances that we might be a little hesitant because he's we because I don't think the likes of Lisandro anyone have faced him yet or a profile of his striker. So what do you think about it, Prashant? I'll start with you.
Look, I've been a huge fan of Armando Broya for almost a year now because during the summer window, right, Chelsea were saying that they want to loan the player instead of selling it. Southampton went back to them with a 40 million offer and Chelsea rejected it. They said the player is only for loan. And as soon as the rumors for Cristiano started, right, I was like, look, I know Chelsea is a rival. We might just sneak him in a loan deal because he wants to play regularly. Now, for people who have seen Premier League last year, right, and for people who have seen Southampton, he scored some 6 7 goals for Southampton, but all of them were like class goals. You also understand that Southampton is not a Man City or a Man United or a Arsenal where the goals are free flowing. They're a very small team in the sense of you're only going to get limited chances, and Armando Broya will keep burying it. And unfortunately, got injured in mid of the season and then eventually lost his form. Now, Armando Broya is Chelsea through and through. He's like their Marcus Rashford. When I say their Marcus Rashford, it's like his father is a Chelsea fan. He was in the Chelsea academy right from when he was 7 years old. He was in Spurs academy and then eventually moved to Chelsea academy. And his father is a season ticket holder, and so he obviously loves the club a little too much. And it's pretty evident that he didn't want to leave Chelsea, and Chelsea never wanted to let him go. And eventually, what they did was they signed him up for a long term deal. His new contract ends in 2028. They just signed him up. Now, talking about Armando Broya, right? Look, Armando Broya is no Erling Haaland, but they both have very similar qualities. When I say very similar qualities, they're tall center forwards. They are not going to give you second chances to finish. I don't know if you've seen Armando Broya's last goal. He got the man, took two people on his left, went to the right, scored from outside of his foot, and he just walked. That's the confidence of a striker. I mean, when you just hit the ball, you walk, it clearly means it's going for a goal. You have seen that confidence in Erling Haaland because he's Erling Haaland. He can do that, and he's been doing it. 10 bloody goals in less than 9 games is insane, right? So Armando Broya, of course, like you rightly said, is now not going to start. Okay, it's absolutely he can't start because Graham Potter doesn't trust him enough, and it's also pretty fact that he's too young to be pushed into a start. Now, if Armando Broya if Armando Broya comes as a sub, right, I don't think it's a problem for Lisandro Martinez or Varane, but it's going to be a problem for the fullbacks. Why? Because he has got a tendency to drift outside. Okay, that's because he's more of a right-footed player, so he likes to go on the left, take the man, get some space, and hit with his right. So that's where the fullback issue will start. Now, having said all of that, if you are a Diego Dalot or a Luke Shaw, right, you have Sterling on one side, you have Aubameyang on the other, then there is Mason Mount running. Who are you going to mark? That's where Armando Broya is lethal because you're going to give him space. Uh, of course, I mean, like I said, right, he's no Erling Braut Haaland where he's going to come and score. I mean, for any United fan who faced Man City, everyone knew Haaland was going to score. I mean, it was just matter of time. We were like, ठीक है, first half में तुम 10 मत मारना. It was that bad because it was that inevitable with Erling Haaland. Uh, I'm not too worried about Armando Broya, but I think there was a comment when someone said that Thiago, I think it was Mojo Bhai only who said Thiago Silva. I think something he said that. I'm just trying
Will
to
get
find.
found out tomorrow because of his lack of pace, because of our pacey attack.
Thiago Silva played in the Premier League last year, and he was voted as one of the best centre backs ahead of Virgil van Dijk. And people like you and me didn't vote him. Players voted him. Thiago Silva is 38 years old. Man reads the game better than Nostradamus read life. Okay, he can sense danger quicker. He knows his strength. Unlike modern day defenders, Thiago Silva exactly knows where he needs to stand. In the last 2 years of him playing at Chelsea, I remember him making one mistake under Thomas Tuchel where he slipped. That's all. He's the only Premier League player to play 40 plus games and not make errors leading to goal. That's a big stat for someone who's 38 years old. Uh,
Exactly,
pe-
correct.
and people forget that Thiago Silva was once supposed to go to Barcelona, but eventually went to PSG. Not because he was money interested or anything. He just didn't want to go to Barcelona. Okay, he's one of the class acts in Premier League. He's one of the last defenders available in Premier League who loves to defend.
Correct.
Most modern day
Yes.
defenders like to pass the ball. Like someone like Rafael Varane or Martinez, they're like Rolls Royce of a defender. They like to pass the ball. Thiago Silva is not going to let Marcus Rashford have a free run at him. If he's given a chance, Thiago Silva will push him to the line and push him outside, and Marcus Rashford will keep thinking कि क्या हो गया मेरे साथ. Okay, Hamojo Bhai says his second mistake is incoming tomorrow. I
We
hope
hope
he makes
we
10
hope
mistakes.
he makes a lot of mistakes, not just
Yeah,
second,
I hope he makes
second,
10
third.
mistakes in a game. I am
Exactly.
absolutely
Yes.
fine with it.
Exactly. Yeah.
Yeah,
All right. So
but
I'll put my next question. I'll put my next question to Kush and Antriksh. All right. Now another player who's new, but who has a comparatively good record against us is Mark Cucurella. All right. The player has a goal and an assist in the 4-0 game against us in while he was at Brighton, and then in the season opener against us again, he gave our right side an absolutely torrid time with his runs and his overlaps. All right, how important is Kukurea going to be in this game? Because Kukurea is slowly and steadily finding his feet. He's one of those defenders, the new crop. I think where Wesley Fofana has come in, he's still taken some time to settle in. Koulibaly also has a couple of mistakes that have happened with him. He's also still not wholly settled into that side. But Kukurea has slowly and steadily managed to get himself into the footing of Graham Potter. Obviously, because Graham Potter managed him at Brighton, so it becomes that bit easier for him. Kushagra, I'll start with you. How important is Kukurea to Chelsea? Not just from a defensive perspective right now, but from an attacking perspective as well, considering that Reece James is out.
Right. So I think right now he's like one of the few shining stars that they have in their team. As you said, he had actually, I think he scored his first goal for Brighton against us.
Against us,
And
yes,
he
against us.
celebrated in an very amazing manner. Even though I didn't like the goal, obviously because it was against us. But it was really nice to see that a guy like him scoring against one of the biggest clubs in the world. And from there, I think his story kind of got that rise. Talking about his current form, I think Diogo Dalo, he may have some problems with him because like Dalo is not that strong when it comes to defense, right? He likes to attack. But the good thing is that we have Antony, and Antony is a player who really likes to drop back and help out the fullback. So if they combine, I think we should have him and whoever plays on that wing covered. So I don't see him causing that many issues. But yeah, I think he is probably one of their best players in the defense right now, considering that Reece James is also out. So it would be an interesting game to see. But I hope that our players are the ones who actually come out on top.
So, Antriksh, to add on to what Kushagra has said, that Anthony will be helping out Dalo in tracking back. All right. Now, another aspect of this comes to the point where Kukurea will not be alone from the left side. Mason Mount has always been that type of player, who will drift onto the left. Then there is Kai Havertz, who's potentially everywhere and nowhere at the same time. I mean, you cannot expect anything with Kai Havertz. One moment he'll be absolutely dog shit, and then the next moment he'll just pop out of nowhere and then just score a howitzer of a goal, and then you just don't know what's going to hit you. So there are going to be a lot of players who are going to be drifting along. But let's just focus on Chelsea's left-hand side, because apart from Kukurea, there'll also be Mason Mount, who's enjoying some sort of a resurgence right now. He scored, I think, 3 or 4 goals in his last 3 games. He's overall been rather positive, and he's one of those few English players who has found his footing just at the right time, just about the time when the World Cup squad is about to be announced as well. So, how important is that right side pairing of Dallo and Anthony going to be from a defensive perspective? Because let's be honest, we know Anthony is going to attack at every opportunity when he's getting the ball. He's going to go on his left foot, he's going to drift inside, he's going to take a shot, or he's going to put the ball inside the box. We all know that. But how important is Anthony's defensive work rate going to be in this game with a left hand side that is going to be as dynamic and as mobile as Chelsea's?
Right. I would sort of have an unpopular opinion here, and I would like to put forward the thought that I think Mark Kukurea's recent heroics when he was at Brighton against us are sort of clouding our judgment towards his short-lived career at Chelsea, which at least for me hasn't sort of yet begun in its full force. And to many surprise, is actually for me not Graham Potter's first choice anymore. I mean, he got his game. He got his game at left centre back, against Aston Villa, if I'm not wrong, and he was substituted in the 46th minute. And because he was caught out a number of times, and then they had to change formations and this or that, and then Azpilicueta came in on the right centre back or whatever, and then he was given his game against this Brentford, and then he was substituted again in the 60th minute. So I think him us VVS fans are having that flashback of him crying when he scored his first goal against us. So that is sort of clouding our sort of sense of judgment. But as you said, Delvin bhai, the left side is very, very, very important, because the good thing about Antony and Ten Hag, as a couple, is that they've played with each other a lot, and then they know a bit about each other. So one thing that I've at least noticed by seeing games under Ten Hag is he lets our wingers hug the touchline, and that when we have someone like potentially someone like maybe Azpilicueta, if he wants to switch flanks, or maybe an underconfident Marc Cucurella, then that becomes a sort of a sense of enmity in the fact that should I go up, should I stay back, should I go up, should I stay back? Because if the wingers sort of cut inside, then they're a part of the midfield, and the centre back sort of can sort of deal with them. But when they're hugging the touchline and right across the field, you have sort of, you need to be wary that should I go back, or should I come in front? So that would really be effective. And football is a very complex game. It seems that attack wouldn't help the defense, but it does. If you stay aggressive, the other team can't stay aggressive as well. Then it'll be a very open game. And I don't think Graham Potter would really want an open game per se right now. So one of them has to, at least in transitions in game, they have to sort of take sides: defense, attack, defense. So I would really like Dalot to push up and Antony to push up. And as strange as that sounds, it would actually help us defensively. If we sort of put both of them back, we would let us have all the pressure, and we know the antics of Marco Corella and what he can do on his day, and potentially even Ben Chilwell. And as you said, maybe Mason Mount and Kai Havertz adding to the mix as well. So that becomes a potentially threatening left side for them. So I would really want Antony to be on his toes, but to be on his aggressive toes as well, wherein he should be looking to go, make those darting runs, so that there is just something in their mind that they can't just attack when they want to. They need to look out who's at back. And with Wesley Fofana, Koulibaly, and Thiago Silva is a legend, and as we already mentioned, that he rarely makes mistake, and his only mistake came in his first game, and since then he just hasn't. Yeah, he slipped, and then he hasn't even tweaked a toe. So keeping Silva aside, Koulibaly and Fofana haven't found it easy as of yet. So we
I think
really
Fofana
need
is
to
injured.
just.
I think Fofana is out. He's not playing.
No, but
Fofana is-
on general, I think Fofana
yeah.
has found bedding in at Chelsea a little more difficult.
I don't
Yeah.
understand.
So,
Like there's a
we
very
should-
interesting comment by
Yeah, go
AB
on.
by saying like Ben Chilwell can also be in the starting 11.
He will
Yeah,
start.
so that's where my next change comes in. Pulkit and Abhijit bhai, this question goes to you. Now, like Amit bhai said, that Chilwell might start. There's a genuine possibility that Chilwell might start against us. All right. Chilwell's case has been a rather different one. Chilwell's career at Chelsea on a whole has constantly been plagued by nagging injuries. All right. We all know that that guy has genuine quality in him. When fit, he's one of the most exciting fullbacks that I've watched since his Leicester days. All right,
Better
he's
than Luke
dynamic.
Shaw. Let's put it out there. He's better than Luke Shaw.
I mean,
hands down.
I mean,
Sadly,
this could be my United bias talking, but then yeah, I would give him on full when he's in full fitness and when he's on song.
just to
Chilwell will be
Delvin,
better than.
I'll have a simple question. Okay, I'll probably rephrase your own question. How many times have you heard Luke Shaw split 30 plus games in Man United career in 7 years? Once.
Fair
Let's-
enough.
For Leicester,
fair enough.
Ben Chilwell, for Leicester, Ben Chilwell played one entire season without missing a single minute, and then in the next season got injured sadly, and then eventually moved to Chelsea. He had a horrific ACL injury, if you remember. He was out for 8 months. Came
Yeah.
back on his comeback, goal and assist. That
Yes,
was his
yes. And
comeback.
then I think he had a
He
knock
got a
again.
Yeah, he had a
Yeah,
knock,
yeah, knock
and
again.
that was probably because who was I think it was Brighton man. Sorry, it was Potter. I think where he said it was his mistake where he rushed in the game because
Exactly.
he
Yeah,
still
Yeah,
wasn't
yeah,
ready,
yeah.
and that's
yeah,
why
yeah.
they had to play Cucurella. Of
Correct.
course, missed 2 weeks,
Yeah.
came back, 3 assists, 2 goals, more than both our fullbacks combined right now. That's Ben
Yes.
Chilwell for
So
you in a nutshell.
yeah, exactly. So Abhijit Bhai and Pulkit, I'll start with Abhijit Bhai first. Abhijit Bhai, what do you think that Ben Chilwell would bring to this Chelsea side? Pulkit, I'll come to you as well. Same question, but I'll start with Abhijit Bhai. So like Amit Bhai says that he will be more attacking and more efficient than Kukureya. And Dalo, for all of his good things, there are structural deficiencies to his game, and Chilwell could profit from that. So, how do you think Chilwell would change the dynamics of this Chelsea side?
If you see Chilwell, he operates very smartly in the boxes. When you come in the final third passes, he really operates very smartly, and he finds that small spaces to provide that space to the striker or even who is available in near the box to score the goal. That that trait is really threatening for us, because if you have seen in our games, we tend to have that open space for someone to counter us. That really makes us very that's make our one of the, क्या बोल सकते हैं आप मतलब एक थोड़ा एक नेगेटिव पॉइंट है हमारे लिए कि वो एक स्पेस क्रिएट कर देता है। तो that really makes Ben Chilwell a very offensive player. Defensively, he's not up to what we are, but he can score from the box or inside the box. So we have to मतलब उसको एक मतलब एक आइसोलेट करना पड़ेगा कि ज़्यादा आगे ना बढ़े। I think Casemiro can make that. He can isolate him definitely. Again, one I would also like to add a point that we are also missing one player, Chaloba. On a good day, he is a really lethal. Uh, he is offensively is great, but एक
बेचारे
एक
थियागो
दिन
ने उसके प्राइवेट पार्ट्स पे मार के बेचारे का करियर थोड़ा शॉर्ट लिव कर दिया, और उसके लिए
हाँ पर
थियागो को
लेकिन
येलो कार्ड भी नहीं मिला था, थियागो को फर्स्ट वार्निंग दिया था कैराबाओ
हाँ
कप
but
में.
लेकिन yes, but in
He's
on
a good
another
player.
day he can be a something someone player, अगर
Yeah.
इस गेम नहीं हो तो is
हाँ हाँ, his
someone we
crossing
have
is
to.
very good.
हाँ that's why. And वही वही डिमांड होता है जब आप एक फुल बैक या फिर क्या खेल रहे हैं.
Pulkit, same question goes out to you. What are your thoughts on Chilwell and how could Chilwell affect this game if he's starting tomorrow? Just in case.
सीधा पॉइंट पे आता हूँ like two fullbacks always entertain me a lot in Premier League for a very long time. One was Cancelo, and second was this Chilwell. Like when we were looking for a left back, I remember if Prashant knows, we were looking for Chilwell. We were looking to sign Chilwell for 60 million, but he like somehow we couldn't close the deal, and Chelsea started for 40 million because we know that Luke Shaw was struggling that time and he was not that footful for all the games. I guess everyone was that time feeling that we need this guy. Even Southgate also said, and even Pep also said that if I had a chance to sign this guy, I would sign him. And even Southgate said that this is one of the most exciting youngster I have ever seen in this game. So point to be added that जो कि Chilwell is very exciting. Like if he's fit the full season, तो Chelsea का तो sort है. Like you have Cucurella, then you have Chilwell, and if James is also back, so they are quite lethal against us. Lately, we are happy that James is not fit because he could have been a big threat for us. But let's not underrate about Cucurella and Chilwell too. अगर इन दोनों को किसी तरह पॉटर ने साथ में खिला लिया, our left and right needs to be very attentive because these guys can deliver some crosses which even our defenders can't find. And coming to another thing is like, if you all remember, Cucurella was very close to join to City. So, some of he and Cancelo and Walker could have linked, but now Chilwell has got a point to prove more because both Chilwell and Cucurella play the same left, same foot. Like they both play left wing back or left back. But good thing with Cucurella is that he can play left center back. So there can be a chance that Chilwell can be used as a good attacking left fullback. So I guess Chilwell has a very big point to prove. The World Cup is coming, and I agree with Prashant bhai. I don't want to see Luke Shaw as our left back in the World Cup for England. We all want either it's Chilwell
आवर
or
मत
it's
बोल, तेरा बोल, तू सपोर्ट करता है इंग्लैंड, मैं नहीं करता.
नहीं करता अच्छा आयरिश
मैं आयरिश भी नहीं, बट ठीक है. आई सपोर्ट
so
नेदरलैंड्स में.
I'm saying like that. Like I guess everyone who's supporting England wants Chilwell and Kyle Walker or a Trippier more than a Shaw because we all know Shaw has been a great season. Can't deny that fact. उस बंदे की 4 दिन की चांदनी थी, but the next season we saw what happened. So of course, when we ask for consistency, if Chilwell is full fit, I don't think any better English left back is there other than Chilwell. Max
Yeah,
on.
like Amit Bhai also said that Chilwell has another X factor that he uses the cutbacks more efficiently and more frequently that Kukureya does.
Because he's got
Where he,
brains.
yeah, exactly. So where he'll come into the byline and then he'll look for that cutback, which is where Mount and Havertz can be lethal due to that one extra move that Chilwell possesses. All right. So we've spoken about almost everything there is. I will just ask predictions for everyone. I think Saksham is with us. Saksham, hi.
Hi, hello.
Yeah. Saksham, I'll start with you. So both teams coming into this game, both teams require the points equally, and but I think if we compare the context, I think United require the 3 points a little more urgent basis than Chelsea do at this point in time. So, what do you think will be the final prediction of this game? Do you fancy us keeping a clean sheet? If yes, would that be a draw? Would that be a United win?
So in this game, I think like regarding the clean sheet, Chelsea struggles to score sometimes. So like us, like we also struggle to score. It's a good game between Graham Potter and Ten Hag, both into their first season with the new team. Graham Potter is not exactly the case of Ten Hag, but they're similar cases. So I see us winning this game after we have like picked up the momentum from the Tottenham's performance. That was a very good performance. मेरी prediction थी कि we will lose that game in the preview, but I think Ten Hag is best football we have ever seen like till now in that game. So to carry on that momentum and if all the things going on behind like Ronaldo and stuff, and if it doesn't like go in the head of other players and just
नहीं
work
यार,
hard, I think we
पब्लिक
can
खुश
win the
रहेगी,
game.
नहीं खेल रहा वो.
Sorry.
People will be happy that he's not playing.
Yeah,
Like if
luckily,
you read the article from Athletic, right, a lot of young players feel slightly more confident because they weren't sure on how to speak to Ronaldo or anything. And I was like, okay,
yeah,
fine,
because when
okay.
he plays like it's supposed to feed karna hai and all, but yeah, I don't know. I don't want to comment on that, but I think whatever Ten Hag's decision is, I am completely backing it as a United fan. So about the prediction, I think we are going to win this game because Chelsea sometimes struggles to score, and our defense is looking good. Don't have that clinical finisher who can finish it off. It would be difficult for us also to break their defense with a back five and back three like Koulibaly and Aspilicueta in the defense. Thiago Silva might be coming in. Kepa is on a good form too after like Mendy dropped his form. So let's see. I predict a win for us. I think a game of sort of like 2-1, and I see us winning this game. So let's
All
see.
right. Kush, what about you? What do you think your predictions will be? And will this be a game which will be decided by one goal, or do you see a lot of goals in this?
Yeah, so I think I'll start off with the prediction straight away. I think it's going to be a 3-1 win to us. Chelsea are not in like the best of the forms, and the recent run that we've had, I think we should be able to have the 3 points in our bag. So I'm going for a 3-1 win.
Avijit bhai, what do you think? Your predictions for the game?
I think it will be 2-0. We will keep the clean sheet. Given the fact that they don't have that type of attack, we have discussed about it. But I don't think they will score. We'll comfortably win with 2-0.
Fair enough. Prashant bhai, what are your thoughts about this?
I think it'll be a draw. It'll be a nil-nil boring game draw. Our record at Stamford Bridge is absolutely shit. We haven't won in Stamford Bridge since 2018. It's
We
a
did
bogey
win in
ground.
2000. We did win in
20, that was an FA Cup.
2020.
I was just checking the record.
No,
We won.
even in the
Right?
Premier League, even in the Premier League, we won against
No.
them. Yes, we did.
It's,
Anthony Martial and Harry Maguire scored.
I'll tell
It
you.
was a Premier League game.
So Man
It was
United
a Premier
versus
League
Chelsea
game.
in April 1-1. Chelsea versus United 1-1. Chelsea versus Manchester United Bridge 0-0. The one which you're talking of, 2-1, 3-1 was an FA Cup win. 1-3, which we won.
No, that was 2-0. I still remember. Bruno assisted Harry Maguire from a corner. That was the 1920 season.
1920 when I'm just checking, right?
Yes,
Chelsea
we
versus
we won
United.
4-0 at home and 2-0 away.
Fair enough.
Yeah.
I
But
think if like Sayam Bhai or anyone, just sharing the comments. So yeah, that would really help. So, because I was also under the impression that we hadn't won there since
So we
quite a long
hadn't
yeah,
won there.
time.
We won an FA Cup game over there when Sari was manager and Ole was on an interim role, and then we won it. We won in a Premier League game as well, 2-0, where Anthony Martial scored from a novelties item. That was a Van Bissaka cross. I cannot forget that. A
okay,
Van
fair enough.
Bissaka assist is something that you cannot forget.
Yeah, that's like
So
Gary Neville scoring a goal, but yeah, fair enough.
yeah, exactly. Yeah,
But yeah, I
and
still think
Harry
it's a draw.
Maguire.
Yeah, I still
Yeah,
think it's a draw because look, I hate teams when they're hard to break down, and I hate it when their keeper is in form. It has been our story for a decade now. When your keeper is your best player, right? That's the most annoying team to play. Edward Mendy being injured has suddenly become a big blessing in disguise for Chelsea because they have found Kepa, and Kepa is not stepping on any wrong turns, which is so unlike us, right? Now the problem here is my personal problem here with the whole setup of this match is the timing of Ronaldo. It's not that it's going to affect people, but it was such a good run, such a good game, Spurs game. Now it's like a sour taste in your mouth, right? So it all depends on how and when we recover from it and what exactly happens out of it. But I still think it'll be a boring nil-nil draw. I usually don't like Graham Potter. Whenever we play Graham Potter at his home, right? The man literally parks the bus. He doesn't attack. He'll wait and he'll wear you out, and then he starts attacking. That's what Brighton did to us all the time, right? They just sucked the soul out of our attack, and when we were tired, that's when they attacked. So I really think it'll be a boring nil-nil game. And if you have any United players on FPL, just get it out because we our good game
uh,
starts from next week.
yeah, exactly. Pulkit, what do you think? What are your predictions in this game?
I am having this sneaky 1-0 win. Matlab, not keeping my hopes high because there is a Kepa tax which Chelsea fans always say that Kepa का भी 4 दिन का चांदनी वाला है. His tax is always there. So I am verifying that tax for myself कि ये tax लग जाए कल. And जो हमारे रैशफोर्ड साहब है लाइक जो उसको हम बोलते हैं भाई स्कोर कर दे FPL में मेरे पता नहीं क्यों बट है तू कर दिया उसको.
All right. So,
Just want to add
Prashant,
one point.
yeah,
One point.
Abhijit. Yeah, Abhijit.
I don't some sort of disagree with the Prashant Bhai because ETH has came to end the eras whatever they dominated us. So
देख भाई,
and one
अगर
one
एंड
thing
करे
and one
बहुत
thing
सही
and
है.
one thing I want to point out that Eric Tan learns from his mistakes whatever he has done in the past and he implements that in a very strong manner. So
I
definitely
agree.
he knows Potter. He definitely knows Potter now how he can counter in his tactics on everywhere or outrun from it. So
I
definitely
agree.
it's not going to be a boring game that you have said. It definitely would be a tactical game, I would say.
नहीं, I totally agree with you. I really hope my jinx works reverse way. ठीक है, तू मेरे मुंह से अच्छा चीज बुलवा मत और हार जाएगा तो फिर और टेंशन हो जाएगा मुझे. ठीक है, so I think it
Make
will be
it
a boring
make it
nil-nil
jinx
game.
like we did for Prashant for Palace and Vieira. Make it
Yeah.
jinx like that.
I
So,
no, I thought
yeah.
I thought Patrick Vieira was going to be the first manager to be sacked because how often have you heard that you've signed 22 players in a window apart from Nottingham Forest and you finish mid-table? Like Palace had no business to finish mid-table. I thought Vieira would be the first one to be sacked. My goodness, today Palace are actually fighting for mid-table. You never know. They might just finish in
We
conference.
have one. So our prediction meter of the panel says 1 draw, 4 wins, from which we have 3 clean sheets out of the 5 people here. So Prashant Bhai says it's a goalless draw. Pulkit says it's a sneaky 1-0. Abhijit Bhai says that it's going to be a professional 2-0 victory. While Saksham Bhai says that it's going to be a closely fought 2-1 win. Kushagra thinks that it's going to be a stroll, a breezy 3-1 win.
I'm
I
going to
feel
take a
that
draw, man. I can't take a loss.
I
I'm okay to take a draw.
I personally feel that there is going to be a result in this. All right, Potter's history in this fixture and the fact that we are on a run, anyone has to give. All right, and I think in this season, all the big games have not disappointed. There has been a trend that all the big games have not disappointed so far. There have been results in all the big games. I think there hasn't been a single draw. I might be wrong here. I don't think a single draw has happened in any of the big games this season.
No.
So I think that this
I
trend is
think
going to
only draw was
continue.
Newcastle. I think the only draw we had was Newcastle.
Not I'm talking about all the big teams. I mean,
No,
all
no.
the big
We
teams playing
defeated
against.
Arsenal. We defeated Arsenal. We defeated Liverpool. Lost
No,
to
no,
City.
big teams in general. When big teams have played against each other in this league, I mean, when Chelsea have played, I think only draw was Chelsea Spurs, the 2-2,
Chelsea Spurs, yeah.
which was not short of incident at all.
But that was a
Bro,
big game,
Thomas
no?
Tuchel is undefeated. Thomas Tuchel is undefeated also अभी तक. ये Graham Potter is undefeated अभी तक.
Yeah,
No one has
so
defeated him.
I think it's going to be a 2-0 win for me as well, but it's not going to be a comfortable 2-0 win. We are going to be worked hard for it, and I totally expect Kepa to pull off at least a couple of jaw-dropping saves tomorrow. But at the end of the day, I think we are resilient enough now, like Ten Hag has constantly reiterated in his press conferences, that he is seeing chances
I'm going to
being
screw your
created.
life if this doesn't happen.
No, I mean,
Okay,
it's there.
you jinxed
It's
it far
there for
enough.
everyone
You
to
jinxed it far enough.
I'm not jinxed it. I'm being totally honest, and I have not jinxed it at all. Okay, so Sembai says Rashford hat trick 5-1. Oh, wouldn't we love to see that? I mean, wouldn't we love to see that? And
Actually,
I think Rashford always
Even
finds his best
Rashford
game
will
at
love to
Chelsea,
see
but
this.
then yeah, exactly. I mean, and so yeah, this I feel it's going to be a hard fought 2-0 win for us. So more 3 points, and that would mean a lot for us considering that this Eric Ten Hag train has taken off in the right direction.
Don't jinx
So
it.
yeah,
We're
no,
stretching
no,
it.
no, I'm not. I'm not. I'll just end this right here. All right. So it's been great talking to all of you guys. Some really interesting viewpoints, some really good insights of this game. We've looked upon our side. We've looked upon our rivals who we're going to play. We've looked at everything there is, and we've also gotten our predictions as well. So we all hope that tomorrow is a game which goes on to our liking. I'm not going to say anything how. I think because people think I've stretched it, so I'm not going to stretch it any further. I'll just say that this game goes to our liking, and that's about it. All we expect as fans is good performances, and we surely would want to see another good performance tomorrow. And with this, we've come to an end of a very interesting first stream. I've enjoyed talking to you guys. Thank you to Prashant Bhai, Pulkit, Saksham, Abhijit, Kushagra for staying along. So guys, do show us love. Do like and share. Do like the stream. It will help. It will help us to put forward much more live streams like this, which we'll be keeping on doing in the future consistently, and which will help us as well. We also are active on Instagram and Twitter. Do drop us a follow there. We are constantly active on WhatsApp as well, so you can join in and interact with us. It's always a match day feel, even when it's not a match day on our WhatsApp groups. And we also have our website which is active, so please go ahead and show us some love on the website as well. There are a lot of interesting things to check out, which will keep you all occupied whenever you all have any time to kill. So this is Delvin signing off, and I hope everyone has a great day. We'll be back with more amazing content for you guys. Till then, good night, take care, and see you all soon.
thank you, and also like a big thanks to everyone who were there in the chat with us through the stream. Thank you so much, guys.
Thank you so much, guys.
GMU guys.
Thank you.
Okay.
GJMU.